Hi, everybody. Welcome to Vibe Time with Geri with my co-host David Flowers. How's everybody doing? We brought back Copperhead, so hopefully this time it actually is on Vibe Time with Geri on Facebook, and it better be recording because last time it did not. Welcome back, Copperhead. We spent an entire hour thinking, okay, thinking it's on, thinking that we were actually on Facebook interviewing you, and it was nothing there. Nothing. Then I was
Blame
like,
it.
okay, I'm not going to sweat it. I'm not going to sweat this shit. I go there to download the record because I was like, all right, I'll download it to YouTube and then go ahead and put it on the Vibe Time page. No big deal. And then when I went to go hit download, it said did not record session. Sorry about your luck, bitch. And that was it. So you're back,
It-
thank God,
It's
with
my
your busy schedule.
it's my ghosts.
It's all your fault. The only other time that has happened is when asshole Dennis has been on my show, and this was before Flowers became a co-host. But one time I brought Dennis on my show, and nothing worked. It was all staticky, wouldn't let us talk. And I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Never had no flaws in my show whatsoever. First time I bring him on by himself, you couldn't get through. Static. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It was like they just didn't want us to talk.
Well, I don't even want to admit this, but me and Dennis might be a little bit alike.
So I'm glad to know that it's on and I actually see uploading in progress. Thank God. So, for those of you who don't know from last time, because we sat here and went through this last time, Copperhead is a guide for Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. For those that don't know, and we were sitting here having a full blown conversation about what he does, except it didn't play or record.
No, we had a good time.
Yes. Oh, and look, my actual chat popped up. Hello, Paul. My actual freaking chat popped up, and I could see Paul instead of having to reset that son of a bitch like I do every week.
My chat didn't pop up.
Every week, I got to reset the whole thing. Every freaking week. That's because you got to go in and reset it. I think I'm figuring out Streamlabs. If I set it up, I can see my own fucking chat. If you set it up, you can see the chat, and then I have to refresh. I think I have it pegged.
Okay, so I hit refresh.
Streamlabs is just like StreamTard. It's just a little bit of a learning curve to this. He kicked himself off. All
Yep.
he had to do was hit the refresh button, and he would have been able to see it. I'm gonna fire my own co-host.
I think he heard you.
All right, I think we have it pegged now. So how have you been, Copperhead? I'm done ranting now. I'm done.
I've been all right, other than busy.
Yeah.
I've
Are
got
you busy with tours? I'm sure you're busy with that. October is a busy month.
I had the overnight on Friday night. Then I tried to sleep. Haha. Too many kids in the house. And I had flashlight tours and the overnight on Saturday night. So Sunday, yeah, I was out of it. So, and this week I just have Friday night.
For those that don't know, because we always have new people coming on the show or they're watching it, tell us a little bit about Trans-Allegheny and what you do. Because a lot of people do know, but there are some people that don't know. They don't know where it's located. They don't know anything about it unless they Google it. And we have you here.
Well, Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is in Weston, West Virginia. It was started. They started building it in 1858. They didn't finish it till 1881. The Civil War was in there, and they put the first 9 female patients in 1864. In the far left wing, they call the Civil War wing. It's got 242,000 square feet, which is 9 acres of floor space. And it is just under a quarter of a mile long from one end of the building to the other. It's the second largest masonry hand-cut stone building in the world. The Kremlin in Moscow is first, and we are the largest in the United States.
Oh, wow.
And then we've got the medical building out back, geriatrics building out back, and forensics building out back. And those are the ones I'm in all October. I'm never in the main building in October.
So the main building, is that big one, the big picture? Because I've never been there.
Yeah.
And is that whole building open to paranormal investigations? The whole thing?
Yeah. If you do a private, they'll open up the Ward D and lobotomy recovery, and then unclean. We'll open all that up. Publics we don't, because there's 3 wards on the left side, and we usually just do those on the publics. The privates, and then daytime paranormal goes. My daughter and me also do daytime, and they take you down lobotomy recovery and Ward D and all of that on the daytime stuff. And then we've got a flashlight tour right now going through all of it.
How much does it cost to do a private there?
I'm wanting to say 1,800. That's for 10 people. That's 10 people, and it's 8 hours, 9 to 5. Is what that is. October, no, there's no privates.
Well, yeah, I could see that, because I mean,
we're
like
already our Publix. I think everything's sold out till January.
Oh, wow.
We're booked already all the way through January.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And everybody thinks that's one thing. Everybody always thinks that, they did experimental procedures and all that stuff in there. They didn't. Everything they did was state of the art at the time. Mental health has come a long way since that place opened.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Phil Payette says Tala has been on my bucket list forever, toured it once, but never investigated. And then Paul Fowler said, not surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list too, Phil.
Mine too.
It's kind of crazy to me now. The first time I saw the building, I was like, holy crap, look how big this thing is. Now I pull up and it's like another day at the office.
Yeah.
I forget, people come in there so excited. Oh my God, it's so big. And I'm like, I remember that. Yeah, it is pretty good size. But you just get so used to it, you don't think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went to Moundsville. I mean, it was just freaking amazing. But like I said, I've never been to Trans-Allegheny, but yeah, I know what you mean by just so the hell?
It says ghosts.
No, I know what it is. I just took care of it.
You're fired.
Okay.
I was getting a phone call.
I
was getting a phone call from work, and I
see
got rid of it.
Out stuff, and then all of a sudden, here comes work.
Well, it's my day job, not my night job.
Okay. It's not the ghostly. It's not the ghosty ghosts then.
I hope not.
Yeah,
But
Paul Fowler says Copperhead avoids me on my investigations.
I avoid you. How did I do that?
I think he's joking. He put a smiley face there. I think I would avoid Copperhead because he has all the ghosts there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it got weird last weekend.
Oh, I'm sure it did. I'm sure.
Like I said, I've never done that. I'd never done that human pendulum before, and I talked with Jeff. You know Jeff Fent?
No, there's so many
He's
people.
the one. He's the one that's building the. He's the one that's building my portal box.
Oh, okay. You talked about him.
Yeah, he's got it finished. He said he had to fine tune it a little bit, and he posted on my Greg W page, and yeah, he found out he found out my real name, and he's not used my Copperhead page at all now. But Jeff, love him to death. The best. I mean, he's a super nice guy. I've known him forever, and he posted on my page that he had it, and I was sitting there listening to it, and it was speaking French, and I called him, and I'm like, I don't understand French. I might be in trouble when I have to get babble. But he had it, and so that'll mean I'll be getting it here for too long, I hope.
Yeah.
I'm ready to try it out. And then get this one. I ordered I've got friends in the UK, and I ordered a bell. They've got a bell similar to the dead bell. And I said, "Where'd you get that?" And they told me. So I went on the guy's page and I ordered it. Now, it got to Louisville, Kentucky, the 8th. It got hung up in customs in Louisville. Yeah, in Louisville, where the like UPS and them come in, if it's anything from overseas, it has to go through customs.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if they opened it. I don't know if they tore into it.
Hope not.
But they sent him a thing and said that he had to send paperwork or something, that it wasn't a pesticide monitoring device, and that I wasn't a corporation. So now I'm going to go do Copperhead LLC just to piss them off. It's like, really? You know, it had my personal name on there, and the thing, yeah, I don't understand it. There's like 4 different sensors in this bell, and I'm hoping they didn't open it up to see what was inside.
Yeah,
If they did, how do I send U.S. Customs a bill for the price of that bell? Because I'm going to do it. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, that sucks.
If there's a thing on there that's broken, like a seal that he puts on it so you don't mess with it or whatever, and if that's broken, I'm immediately taking pictures and sending it to that company. And then I'm going to...
Hey, Brian.
I'm going to get a little nasty with U.S. Customs.
Yeah.
It probably won't do me a bit of good, but hey, I'll try.
Well, I mean, I don't understand that sometimes. As long as you put this, what's on there, you know,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be an issue. It's when people bullshit and don't put stuff what's on there is what causes stuff to get opened up. At least that's what I learned sending stuff overseas.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, it says it's for paranormal investigation on the box. And yeah, they opened it up, and I hope they didn't damage the bell.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Like I said, I will not be happy.
No, I wouldn't either.
That's I think it was $100. I think I spent 100, like just shy $157 for it, and they've got to open the package. Really?
They probably wanted to use it to do their own paranormal investigations with. That's what that's about. And they want to keep it for themselves because they like it. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get this motherfucker."
Well, it was supposed to arrive today, and it didn't. And that's like the fourth time they put on there that it was going to arrive. You know, and it's like, really?
Said he wouldn't be happy about it either.
That don't, yeah. And I was going to order some more stuff from him, and I think I am, just to see if they do it again. But I'm going to wait and see if they've done anything to that bell first.
Right.
Because like, there's a tilt sensor in it. There is, I forget what all's in that thing. But yeah, I definitely don't want it screwed with.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I've never bought any electronics from overseas. Do they have normal batteries like we do? Because I know their plugins are different. But is the battery stuff normal like ours?
Yeah, it's just a 9-volt battery.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure how that worked over there.
And, well, I've got a piece of equipment. It's that music box that Zach made for me. My wife had him make it, and it says on the box and inside the music box when you open it up, it says Copperhead's, what was it? Copperhead's Phantom Music Box. And he made this thing just for me, and he put my initials, and then it's got Copperheads on all 4 corners of the top lid, all etched in there. I guess it's laser on the leather. And I have had a blast with that thing.
Nice.
And I've used it since the week before Father's Day. And I have never charged it, and it's still full charge.
Still?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And one night, it was crazy. This one night, it wouldn't shut off. It just kept playing. And I thought, something's wrong with this thing. So I shut it off, took it to another part of the building where they messed with it before. It never would go off. I took it back over to that spot, set it back down. I said, okay, I'm sorry. I just had to make sure it was, it was working right. And I turned it on before I set it down. And it just started again. So I thought, well, let's see how long this will go. I sat there for an hour listening to that music box over and over and over, and it wouldn't quit. It just kept on.
That's wild.
And it's never done it since. It was just that one night. And I've had it, I wanted to use it up at Madison when I went up there for MadCon, but I didn't get a chance to take it in the building with me. But that thing, yeah, everybody that's seen it, they're like, oh my God, where'd you get that? I said, it's a custom build. He built that Ecto 1, the ambulance out of Ghostbusters. And he put sensors on it, and it plays the Ghostbuster theme when it goes off. Then he made a Harry Potter one for one of the girls, and it plays the Harry Potter theme. And then he's made a couple more.
That's what I want. I want the Harry Potter one.
Well, he did the triangle with the circle and the wand. That's the box. He made that the box. And then he's got a it's really not a digital dowsing, but it's got a single dowsing rod sticking out of it, and for yes, you tell it to go one way or the other, and when it goes over there, it turns on a light. And then it goes back, and then it'll ask to go back to the middle, and then all of that. He's made that. Did you guys see when Josh Gates was at the asylum? Did you watch that? Well, if you watch the episode, they're in the auditorium, and they've got this big phonograph. It's motion activated, and he made it. And they said they had it commissioned for them. Well, no, it was his. They borrowed it, but he's building all kinds of stuff. I mean, he's awesome. I told him, I said, dude, you could quit your flipping job and build those dang music boxes and all this other stuff. And I said, you'd probably make enough money to keep going, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm waiting to hear from Jeff when he wants to come down with my portal. I'm beyond anxious to see that thing. I sent him, we had the McGlumphy Funeral Home up here in Clarksburg for a little bit, and we were trying to get it remodeled. Well, that didn't happen, and we ended up having to have it tore down. And there was one of the funeral wall speakers, you know, the wooden wall speakers they got up to play the music and what have you. There was only one that was intact. So I decided I'd take it. And then I thought, what am I going to do with this stupid thing? And I stumbled across Jeff's page and saw he was building those. And I messaged him and I said, hey, I'm going to send you this speaker. I want to make one out of it. I boxed it up and sent it to him, and he said, his wife said, Jeff, there's a big ass box out here waiting for you. This thing is 14 and a half inches wide, 16 inches tall. It's 7 inches at the bottom and 5.5 at the top. And Jeff said, this thing's huge. I'm like, yeah, but I like it.
That's cool.
And you know how that lacquer gets, the older the lacquer is, the darker it gets. Well, it was really dark. And I was talking with him and I told him, I said, I'd kind of like to keep the finish. I said, I kind of like that. And he's like, okay. He says, you don't want me to sand it down? And I said, no, I'll just leave it. Well, then I called him up and I thought, you know what? Just let him have artistic license. I said, do whatever
you want. Yeah.
You want. So he sanded it down, and when I saw the pictures of that thing, he had it sanded down and hanging. He had 2 or 3 coats of poly on it. Oh my gosh, this thing's gorgeous. The wood on it is just amazing. And I told him, I said, I'm glad I let you do what you wanted.
Yeah.
I think it looks 10 times better than it did.
Yeah, I mean, when people do that type of work, they can pick and see things that maybe you can't. That's what makes it. When you let somebody freestyle.
That's like my best friend. He painted that sign behind me. And he said, when I was talking with him about it, he said, how big? And I told him, he's like, okay. And while we were talking, he was sketching it. And then the next evening, he sent me a picture. He already had it hand drawn out, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he says, coming along. And it was like the end of the week. He came over and brought me brought it over. He says, "Got it done."
That's really
and I like it.
Yeah, it's really great.
I think he was being smart by putting the copper color on top and the white on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's funny. But he left that off of the actual snake itself. He could have like put that on there, and y'all could have been matching.
This is true. This is true. Oh,
so what are some of your at the asylum? Do y'all have like main spirits there like we do at the manor house? I mean,
yeah.
we have our main spirits that come through the box. Do y'all have that there too? Do you have like pass-throughs that you don't know who they are? Do you have the same thing there?
Yeah. When I first came back, I told them I wanted to walk the building.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get a feel for the building. So I walked through and I went up to the 4th floor first. And then I figured I'd work my way down the wards and on the way down. And I went down Ward S, and I turned to go down the transition hallway into R, and there was something on my right side, and it was so strong. I was like, what? And I walked on through. Well, when I come back, see, there's a big closet on the right when you're going into R, and then there's a mop closet on the left. But when I was coming back out, it had moved from the big closet to the mop closet, and it was on my right again. And I stopped, and I said, "I don't know who you are, but you don't belong here." I said, "There is no way you belong here." I said, "I don't know what you're doing, but you need to go." I've not felt that one since. So I think it was a pass through.
Mm-hmm.
And then on R, they call it the creeper, but I don't like that because I found out a story, and I think it's her. There was a lady on that floor that didn't have any legs, and she crawled. And I think that's the one that everybody sees on the floor. Nick and Katrina were there, and it was after I left. Nick and Katrina came, and their cameraman caught it crawling across the floor behind them, and it went out the transition hallway towards Ward S. And when I saw that on the TV, I was jumping up and down. Wife thought I'd lost my mind, and she says, "What?" I said, "They finally got it on camera." I'd seen it like 3 times, and I've been trying to go in there and get something, get communication opened up, but it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And my first night back, I saw it again. It came out of the room right by my group and turned and went behind all of them, and they didn't see it. They could hear it, but they couldn't see it. And it sounded like hands slapping the floor and something being drugged. And I was ecstatic. That made 4 times. And now I've seen her one more time since then. And but then over on T, we've got Frank and Larry, Daniel, Jesse, and Jeff and I found Frank and Larry.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't tell names. We'll tell the next guide, "Hey, see what names you get in there." We won't say anything about names until everybody's gotten the same name several times, And Frank and Larry. Then down on the 3rd floor, there's Big Jim. Over in F, there is Dean. And then the women's Violent Women's, I haven't gotten any names, but I've had my name called out several times walking down through there. And then you see there's you're looking out of Ward C towards the auditorium, towards the center section. There's a very, it's full body apparition. I mean, and it looks like looking at one of us. He's that, and I thought it was one of the people in my group that night. And I walked in to see, I kicked on my flashlight. I said, "Hey man, I didn't want to scare you." And I stepped in. There was nobody there.
Oh,
And I was looking around, and then one of our guides actually was walking out and going into the center section. This guy bumped into her, didn't say a word, nothing, just went right in the auditorium, and she was mad at a hornet, and she went in there, let him have it, and there was nobody in there. And that freaked her out just a little bit.
Yeah.
And she described him, and it was the same one I saw. A dark blue shirt, blue pants, and then the second floor over the children's ward is Emily is on 5. On 2, there's John and Charlie. So, I mean, yeah, we've got them everywhere. Lily's on the first floor, Ward 4. And I can't think of any of the others off the top of my head right now. Those are the main ones everybody goes and talks to.
Yeah, Paul Fowler said Frank and Larry threw a card at him one night.
Mm-hmm. That was probably Frank.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be able to have Frank pick on people. I had one guide that she said, "They never talk to me. I just sit out in the hallway." And she was sitting by their door one night, but before she came up, I said, "Hey," I said, "pull Vanessa's hair." I said, "Be nice." I said, "But take it and go 1, 2, 3." And she was sitting there. She was sitting there, and she came downstairs, and I said, "Well, that was for?" She says, "Nothing." I said, "Nothing?" I said, "You didn't get your hair tugged 3 times?" She looked at me. She says, "I thought that was my jacket hanging my hair up." And I started laughing. I said, "Nope."
That's
and
funny.
We had, well, he liked to turn non-believers into believers. And now I can't get him to hardly even talk to me. I've been in there and nothing. Nothing.
The guy across from them down the hall, I sat in his chair and he said, "Move forward across the spirit box."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, you gotta ask to sit in his chair. I don't know where they come up with this one at, because they found him while I was gone. And they say his name's Jim James.
How long were you gone?
7 years.
Yeah, when I went to Kimberly and I were investigating Old House Woods like weekly. And then after my, spills with vertigo and my heart attack, I just hadn't been out there for a long time. Well, they did a fundraiser out there. David Flowers was there. Dennis was there. We had a whole bunch of people there. And I had my body camera on, and I had a rock hurled at me. And that shit hurt. I mean, it hurt. Mm-hmm. It was like they were fucking pissed off. So I'm just wondering is he upset with you because you wasn't there for so long?
Well, that's what Joker said out in the medical building.
Yeah.
I went to every building and told them all goodbye.
Yeah.
And told them I might be back one of these days. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And now Joker hadn't done anything until this past weekend. And I can't say that. I kind of communicated with him a little bit, but I used to be able to go in there and take the flashlight tours through. We had before I left, the flashlight tours went outside, down the walk into the medical building, and then out of the medical building into the main building. And I walked in with my group one night, and I yelled up. I thought, let's try this. And they all looked at me, try what? And I yelled up the ramp. I said, Joker, it's Copperhead. I got a bunch of chickens down here. Make your noise for me. I said, I bet they'll run. And it actually sounds like a filing cabinet drawer. It sounds like somebody takes a filing cabinet drawer and just slams it. It's just a big, loud metal boom.
Oh, wow.
And a bunch of them jumped and screamed. And this one guy looked at me and says, you got somebody up there. I said, we'll wait. He's like, what? I said, we'll wait. Go up and check it out. I said, I guarantee you there's nobody up there. And then we went out through Ladies Auxiliary last year. And I'd go in there and yell and say, ladies, it's Copperhead. If you want a cigarette, finish this for me. And I'd do shave and a haircut. And from upstairs, you'd hear the knock back. And I'd leave them a cigarette or candy or whatever, you know. And that one's kind of a wild building. It's in bad shape. So nobody gets to investigate it, but we've been in there, with permission. We've been in there and did a little bit. We saw a shadow figure go across at the end of the hallway, and Paul went down to see who it was. And I yelled down. Paul didn't answer. I'm like, what? So I walked down. We had another gal with us. I don't remember who it was, but we walked down to where Paul was at, and he was standing there. He was kind of had his head down like this. And I'm looking at him, and I looked to his left, and there's a shadow figure standing there in the corner. And I looked at him. He says, is he still there? So he saw it and I guess he froze. I don't know. And then it went away. And my daughter has told me that she said, I think I have your genes. And I'm like, what?
No, really? No.
I'm like, what? And she was on her way back from lobotomy coming through D, and she described her perfect. The lady was sitting on one of the church pews down there. She said she was in a purple floral dress, bright white tennis shoes, bright white socks. I can't remember what she said her hair was. I have not slept since then. But she described her perfect. And she said she heard a noise, so she turned and looked, and then she looked back, and the lady wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
And then another one she did. They were going out to open up in the morning, to open up the CI yard and everything out in the forensic building. And she went up the ramp and turned to the left, and she said there was a little short guy there with a big mustache, and she described him, I mean, to a T. And she said, then he wasn't. The other one, her and her group was up on 5. Yeah, they were in children's ward. And in Emily's room, there's a little rocking horse. And I've never seen this thing move, right? And she was giving her group a minute to look around. Well, none of them went to say hi to Emily or nothing. They just walked on down and was looking around. So Kaylee goes over and she says, I'm sorry they didn't stop and say hello, but I did. And the rocking horse started rocking.
Oh.
She hurried up and got her phone and got it on video, and she's got the last 7 seconds of the rocking horse rocking by itself.
Yeah, because you never think about that stuff. That's why I like my body camera, because it's clipped, it's on, it's ready, and then you know if something happens, you can just pull it off and real fast.
I told you what happened to mine, didn't I?
I can't remember. You may have.
Mine's dead.
And I wouldn't be
And
surprised by that shit.
I was up on the 4th floor by Frank and Larry's room, and I had a REM pod over there by the door. This guy had it set up, and he says, "How come you're not recording with your body camera?" I said, "Because it'll stop."
Oh Lord.
He said, "It'll stop." I said, "Yeah." I said, "As soon as I push the button on this thing, it'll stop."
That's too bad.
And I put that body camera. I said, "Okay, I'll get them going." So he did, and I clicked it on. Wouldn't answer. I said, "See, I told you," and I shut it off.
Yeah.
It started right back up. And I thought I was going to be sneaky, and I reached up and I clicked it on. I hear it go pop.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" And I brought it home, hooked it up to my computer, and it says the SD card needs formatted. They don't have an SD card that I've found.
Mm-mm.
It's a hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucked up. Paul Fowler said he bought a body camera because of Tala. He said, "I got a nurse shadow figure and a picture from the 1st floor.
Mm-hmm.
My game camera got knocked over on the 4th floor the last visit." I hate when they break equipment. That has happened with some of my stuff.
This is the third camera I know of that they've destroyed.
And those are too expensive. Yeah.
The first one was a Sony. Well, it didn't destroy the camera; it destroyed the battery on the first one.
Yeah,
but it wiped everything off the video camera. Mm-hmm. There was no footage whatsoever. And the guy behind me was a non-believer. He was with a radio station, and we walked him through, and we were coming back, and he said it looked like a hand came out like that and just missed me, like it came behind me. Mm-hmm. And he had it on camera. He was watching the camera.
Oh wow.
And he ran up and he shoved the camera in that room to see if anybody was in there, you know. And as soon as he did, we heard a loud pop. And the camera went dead. So we put a new battery in it. There was nothing on the camera. And they tried to recharge that battery. It wouldn't charge, so they sent it to Sony to see what was the matter because it was a new battery. And they said, "How did you blow it up?"
Oh gosh.
They're like, "What?" Mm-hmm. They said, "Yeah, you overcharged it. It blew up." He said, "It was on the camera when this happened." And they're like, "There's no way."
How do you overcharge something like that? I mean, how do you overcharge it anyway?
I have no idea, but they said that it was like it was overcharged. It was destroyed.
I know my cell phone, I had when I took it to Pamplin Park, it was the very first year I went to Pamplin Park. My cell phone wasn't even a year old, and I had saw a figure pass in front of me, and then I felt something behind me, and when I hurled around to take the picture, my whole phone just broke. The whole thing just blipped out. Mm-hmm. Black screen, never got it back on. It would come on for 1 second and shut right back down. I mean, it just wiped it out. Wiped that whole thing out. People don't believe that they can wipe out equipment, but they really can, and they do frequently.
Yeah. They like I said, they destroyed my body camera.
Yeah. I guess if they don't want to be messed with or want to be seen or whatever, that's what they do. Because whatever was behind me didn't want to be bothered. And I felt it. and I wanted to get a picture of it.
I'm getting ready to order another one of those, and they've changed them.
Okay.
There's something different about them. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I didn't know whether to do it or not. One of them's a 64 gig, and then there's another one that's more expensive, but
Where
I don't know what the difference.
from?
Amazon.
Let me see. You now got to go on here and look because they're toys to me, and
I've been looking at all different kinds, and I thought I said, what are the best body cameras? Yeah, no, I'm not spending that.
Yeah.
And then you have to buy this encrypted software and all this other. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need something that crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just enough. Here's one Camera Pro 1826 police body cam, 64 gig, waterproof body cam, warm with audio, night vision, GPS, $154.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got all kinds of different ones on here. I've got like 3 body cameras. I think 3 total, right?
Yeah, you've got 3. I've got 2.
Because we were using them and we were replacing the DVRs with body cameras.
Yeah. And these have motion activation on them too, and all kinds of stuff. Those ones that you told me to buy, and they're not Frank and Larry proof.
Yeah. Paul said he spent $45 for mine on Amazon, and he added an extra infrared lens on his.
Yeah, I love that one that I had. I thought about sending it back to the company and saying, "Hey, what's the matter with this thing?"
Yeah.
And see if they could fix it, or see if it's worth fixing. I mean, it's trash now.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to go ahead and order another one, maybe 2.
Yeah, I like ours. We wait until Black Friday too. Sometimes you can get a good deal on them with that. But I mean, that we've captured some of our best evidence with body cameras because you're so busy setting up stuff. You're not paying attention to spirit around you. You're too busy. Like with you, you're doing your tours. You know, you got to watch out for people too. And that's what makes them so nice is you can do that. And if something passes in front of you, you may not see it like we have at the Manor House with your naked eye at first. And then when you get home and you start reviewing it, you see that and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. You know, and I like it because it's in 10-minute clips.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes it nice.
Yeah. Because a lot of the evidence that we've collected over the years, we weren't even trying to collect evidence.
Nope.
But we had that body camera going about our business, and something happens.
Yeah. No.
So that's the thing I really like about the body camera.
Yeah. Yeah, you clip and go. It's just the best thing to invest in.
Well,
I'll send you the link to mine. Send me the link too. I want to see it.
I'm not gonna wear one in the asylum anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I like it for my other investigation places that I investigate, but yeah, not the asylum. I don't want to ruin another one.
How they know that's what it is. You know what I mean? It's just so funny to me. Like, I wonder if you got a little micro one, what would happen?
There was one, this guy on one of the overnights one night, he brought in this FLIR. This FLIR camera was, oh my gosh, about that wide. It was a double-handed one. This is a $12,000 camera. He borrowed it from his work. And then he says, you want to, I said, I'm not touching it. But we're sitting there on Ward 5, right there, just inside the ward door. And I had told everything about the ward, and we were just standing there talking for a second. And all of a sudden, this little blue spot appears. And it starts going around people and in and out between people and everywhere. And they say you can get your shirt tugged, you can get tapped on the leg, stuff like that. Well, this man and woman was standing there, and they had a little bit of room between them. And she looked at her husband and said, "Stop!" and backhanded him right in the chest. And the little blue dot went between them.
Oh, wow.
And we're watching this on this FLIR. And then it was going around other people, and they'd be turning and they'd be looking, and, you know. And we're sitting here watching all this. And I leaned over and I said, "You are recording, right?" And he went, "Oh." As soon as he hit the record button, blue dot disappeared.
Oh, goodness.
So I think they know.
Yeah.
Now, have you tried wearing your body camera, like just clipping it on, turning it on outside, and then just walking like nothing's happening?
No, I've not tried that yet.
Yeah,
but I don't want to now.
Because if you have it already recording before you even walk in, and you're walking like normal, maybe they won't realize it. It's when you have something in your hand, said, "Okay, let me record this," and you hit the button, and they realize, "Hey."
Yeah, I might have to try that.
Would be a neat kind of test to think. They're probably listening to us now, saying, "All right, we're going to get that little bitch next time he comes out there.
He's going to walk in. He's going to walk in. It's going to go pop, just like the last one."
Thanks, David. Gave that idea away. We said it out loud. It's not like they don't listen. It's like, all right, bitch, we're getting them this time too.
Yeah, them dead things are too expensive to keep getting ruined.
We feel that way about the spirit boxes too, right? Flowers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All our spirit boxes just keep breaking. Every single one of them. It's like the port breaks, and we're like, oh my God, another one. How many is that now? 3?
3.
I've got
the first 2 were my fault.
The first 2 he dropped.
I've got an old SB7, and the speaker quit working in it. And I've got a rechargeable, I forget the brand, but I've got a rechargeable speaker that I just plug into it and turn it on. And it works great, but I've been in construction too long.
Yeah.
And it just, all that static, I can't make out what it's saying.
Yeah. And
that's why I'm so excited to get that portal from Jeff, because there's no static.
Nice.
And it's the same, basically the same concept as the Frank's box. It's what it is. And he told me he found he had a rare COS radio that he hacked to put on mine. And what's funny, he put my logo on the back of the box, and it's got this yellow background behind the snake. The radio is almost that same yellow. So it's mounted on the back of the box too.
Oh, that's cool. Matches your hair.
Yep. Well, it's turning kind of white.
Nah, still got a little coppery in it.
A little bit. This don't.
Yeah.
I blame that on the kids.
Yeah, I blame mine on Geri.
I'm an innocent little angel. I didn't do a damn thing. Flowers.
Okay.
I caught with my body cam. I did the Camden Hotel and Opera House, and United Bank is all one big building. And I went in it, and I swear I caught a portal, because you can see a figure on the side of the wall, and then it comes out a little bit as I was turning, and it's only 3 frames. It's boom, 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 and then gone. And the 3rd frame, it looks like a door, like a rectangular door hanging in the middle of the hallway, and it was daylight outside, and there's light coming all around. There's light coming all around that rectangle in the center of the hallway. I mean, under it, over it, and beside it. And here's this black rectangle in the middle of the hall. And then my daughter was up there later, and she got scratched right about where that was at. And I never did get to go back in.
Oh, that sucks.
I was wanting to go back in and hit that again and see. And what's funny, we'd start investigating like 5 PM and get all kinds of activity. And then the later it got, the less you got.
Right. That's how it is at the Manor House. Paul Fowler wants to know how you got your name. I remember you telling me the story. It's your hair.
Yep. It used to be a whole lot copper than it is now.
Used to be a whole lot of copper.
It looked like a brand new shiny penny. Now, not so much. It looks more blonde than it does anything. I think the white's coming through.
Oh, I remember you telling me that story because I think I asked the same question.
Yep. And I got it at a rendezvous. The pre-1840 living history stuff. That's where I got the name.
Yeah.
And that was, oh my Lord. A long time ago. I was in my 20s.
He was in his 20s.
Yeah, just a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's just 2 years ago. No big deal.
About 3 or 4.
Yeah. You can be 20 every birthday.
Well,
so what do y'all have coming up for October? In case anybody wants to, you got like tours that people can still purchase tickets for?
We've got the only thing, they got the haunted house going on, then the flashlight tours, and it's first come first serve on all those tickets.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I put just me. I put 130 people. I took 130 people on tour from 7. My first tour went out at 7, and my last tour went out at 11.
Oh gosh.
How long are your tours?
Those are just 30 minutes. And I'm on a tight schedule.
Oh, I bet.
I usually make it 29 minutes or right at 30. I've got my routes and everything down. I know when to keep moving, when to slow down a little bit, and if something crazy happens, I run late. They're like, "You're on a schedule." Ghost hunter. Something happens, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had some of the best pictures have come off of the flashlight tours. I've got one that I was managing years ago, and I think it was our first year doing it. A guy took a picture down the arts and crafts hallway at lobotomy recovery, and you can see the girl standing in the middle of the hallway about 15 feet down the hallway in his picture. And he looked at his phone and started freaking out. And Vanessa called me and she says, "Come down here and get him." And I could hear he was in a panic. Me being me, I told the guy, I said, "You're in luck, man." I said, "There's 2 ways out of here." He said, Really? Get me out of here. I said, "Well, one of them's that way." And I pointed down the arts and crafts hallway. He didn't think I was as funny as I did.
That's funny.
But I made him give me the picture before I walked him out.
That's funny.
I gave him my phone number and I said, "Text me that picture right now." And he did. And then I took him out.
Yeah, I hate it when people say they're going to do something like that and then they don't. And it's like, it's a piece of evidence.
We had up on Ward E, Zach McCormick used to work up there, and he and I, we still run together. And he liked to sit on Ward E all the time. And one night, this lady didn't want to go down Children's Ward. It was freaking her out. So I took her over. I was managing, so I was just floating around on the floors. And I took her over to Ward E. Well, we ran into Zach on Ward B. And I was talking with him. He says, yeah, man, I'll go back. So we're walking in, get to the first archway. And he says, I'm going to go down to that bathroom. He says, I've been getting some stuff in there and I want to go back down. He said, you guys want to go? I'm like, no. I said, she just wants to stand here and look down the ward. So he went down. We watched him go in the bathroom. About 20 minutes. And she's like, I got to get out of here. This is just getting creepy. She said, something's off. I'm like, well, all right. I said, but I'm not leaving Zach. And I go down, there's a piece of conduit coming down the wall just right by the door where they put him in for, his observation room.
Mm-hmm.
And the door is like, 2 feet maybe from the conduit. And I'm standing by the conduit and I yelled down, no answer. Yelled down again, no answer. He steps out of the door right in front of me. And I backed up and said a few things. The lady started freaking out. And she's like full panic. And I looked at Zach and I said, how did you get in there? He said, what? I said, how did you get in there? We watched you walk down to the bathroom and go in the bathroom. He said, I've been in here. I heard you come in. I said, there's no way. You walked in here with us. I said, dude, I know you. You walked in here with us. How did you get in there? And he says, I've been in here. Now this lady, okay, me and him's arguing, and this lady's full on panic mode. And we're carrying on this conversation on how did you get in there? So finally we walk her out, and I was talking to him out there in the center section. She went to the break room. She was done. I mean, she didn't go back out on the floor. She waited on her friends. And we were out in the center section. I looked at him. I said, dude, how did you get in that room? He said, I'm telling you, I heard you come in. I said, well, did you see yourself walk past yourself? He's like, what? I said, I watched you walk down into that bathroom down there. And he says, I can't go in that bathroom. He said, I can't go past the second arch. I said, why? He said, I'm allergic to birds.
Oh,
I said, what's that got to do with anything? He said, the pigeons are getting into that bathroom. I cannot go past the second archway. And I mean, he's definitely allergic to birds. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at him. I said, let's go back over to Ward E. He said, why? I said, we got a chance to prove something, man. He said, prove what? I said, well, they say if you see your doppelganger, you die, right? He didn't think I was funny either. And he would never go back over there. That was his favorite place in the whole building, and he would not go back over there. He'd tell everything from Ward B. He wouldn't step foot into Ward E. And they've seen me all over the building.
Yeah.
They watched me walk out. Destiny was on the portico roof this past summer, and she saw me go out to the fountain. And she said I was looking down in the fountain and just walking around the fountain. And she said, I was wondering, what are you doing? And then I just walked back to the break room. I was on the 3rd floor.
That's funny.
And she's coming back in, and I'm taking one of my people down to the break room. And I'm coming down the stairs. She walks in and she looked at me. She says, how'd you get up there? I said, I've been up here. And she said, you were just out at the fountain. I said, no. And the lady with me, she's like, no, he's been upstairs with us doing sessions. And that freaked her out.
Hey, you never know what happens with the paranormal. I mean, you never know. It's funny how things can be mimicked like that.
Can't believe it's 9:05 already.
What?
Can't believe it's 9:05 already.
Oh my God. Well, at least
it doesn't take long when you get talking about paranormal stuff.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
It's almost like we need like a part 5,000 with Copperhead.
At least this one's recording.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
And we were able to go live.
Yes, I won't complain. I won't complain. I think next week we got who? Stevens.
Yeah,
right?
John Stevens next week.
Oh my God, the third week already in October, y'all. Third week. All right, so next week on Vibe Time with Geri, we have John Stevens. And then, of course, the very last week in October, we have Psychic Roundtable. So I've got our normal guests on there. And now I can't just Joshua Ford. We have Stephanie coming on. We have Rachel coming on. And it's just regular little psychic talk. So anyway, I'm glad that Copperhead got to visit us tonight and nothing went wrong this time.
That we know of.
Thanks for talking to your ghosts. I know that I asked you to do that.
Well, I tried to tell them to stay back this time.
Yes, to be respectful of Vibe Time with Geri. You know, I love my show, but gosh, this year will be 6 years running, right, David? 6 years, I think. 6 years running. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, and we appreciate everybody that comes every week and supports the show. We really do the best that we can. I try to make it interesting. We also download it and put it on YouTube and Spotify in case you miss it. But you won't miss this one.
No.
We hope.
No, we hope. That's right. The kids around. Everybody's trying to catch this little dog that escaped in the neighborhood. Oh, my God. All right, you guys. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. See y'all next week. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Leah. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Right. David, I just hit